Good morning once again, and I will redo the entire introduction word for word. You missed out, you know. You missed out on a really fantastic introduction. Genre even sang for us, but that's not the best part. No, Genre. No, Genre. Genre has been singing, serenading me. And as I said first thing this morning, which of course none of you got to hear, was that Genre has a complete repertoire of the world's worst songs up permanently etched in his brain and now permanently etched in mine. Good morning, my name is Jamie and I clearly have Genre on camera with me.
Morning.
There you go. Steph is out with Gert, and we do sincerely apologize for the gremlins that we seem to experience at the start of every show. It is a mystery to us why the gremlins have suddenly decided to follow such a set pattern that's very contrary to their usual behavior. Usually it's completely unpredictable when they're going to strike, but which seems over the last few days to have sort of settled into something of a routine. We are heading out, coming to you live actually, better do this part, from Djuma, Arathusa and Cheetah Plains Game Reserve in the Sabi Sand in the Greater Kruger National Park of South Africa. Not only are we live, but we're also... What was that? Was that a yawn? I'm outpouring you. That was Genre, by the way. He has heard this many, many, many times. You can send through your questions on hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or you can email through on questions@WildEarthTV. Let's try and see if we can't find something to keep Genre entertained this morning. So, Steph and myself following up frantically on lions roaring. Canada Keith has solved our technical problems. Canada Keith says, can't we put repeaters upon giraffes? We could absolutely, Canada Keith, or we could get Brent to walk around like this with a repeater. Pretty much the same thing. We did chat yesterday with our giraffe, in our giraffe sighting, when one of the viewers asked about the antennas on the top of a giraffe's head. So absolutely, I feel as though that is an entirely feasible suggestion as a way of solving our tech problems. Steph, I found your lion tracks. Steph's off the vehicle, by the way, tracking lions. I've got his tracks here. Sorry, Steph. I thought they were. Everybody keep your eyes peeled for lions and or Steph wandering through the bush. No, there's the lion tracks. So you all missed poor Steph's introduction. He did a lovely introduction during which he showed you lion tracks. These lion tracks are going in completely the wrong direction. The lions have been playing games with us over the last few days. Oof, they're not very clear. They're not very clear at all. Okay, that's me told. Genre. They're not very clear. No, they're not. Zooms out. He's right though, they are impossible for you guys to see and they're impossible for Genre to show you. I'll try and find a better set. It's difficult, the sun's in the wrong place. There you go. Is that better? Not really. It's a bit too early in the morning. Shame, you guys missed a spectacular sunrise. There's our lion tracks wandering along the road. There you go, you can see them. You can definitely see those ones. Shall I get out? Hold on a moment, I will get out. I'm stuck with my hot water bottle under my jacket. Here we go. It's okay, I'll get there eventually. Okay, so for newer viewers, which set are we looking at? This one?
Whichever you want.
Whichever we want. Oh, fantastic, I've got the pick of the lot. Now the lion tracks that we're looking at are here, which can be relatively difficult to see if you are unfamiliar with what lion tracks actually look like. But this is the back of this lion's foot with its 3 lobes. I am, of course, naturally artistic, so this is going to come out beautifully. There's one toe. There's another toe. That was sarcasm, by the way. My art teacher very kindly told me not to carry on with art throughout school. Lion tracks, big lion tracks. To give you a sense of scale, here's my hand next to his footprint, my beautifully traced footprint. It's the size of my hand. It's actually a little bit bigger than my hand. So male lion walked south down this road, and we're going to go find him. He was calling all through the night until about 2 o'clock in the morning when he went silent. And the Nkuhuma's picked up where he left off and continued to roar throughout into the morning. And I think we need to go and follow up on where this line was. Okay. Tuck the hot water bottle back under the jacket. Bear with me a moment, it's not actually that cold. Nearly there. It's all gone wrong. It's all gone wrong. There we go. Much better. Apparently, it was... Actually, it's been so long since we first set out, I can't even remember what the temperature was meant to be officially. It's probably around 11 degrees, so sitting around 51 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, my apologies, it was 13 and 56 when we set out this morning. So a positively balmy winter's morning here in the African bush. And as we spoke about earlier, but of course you all missed it, which is most tragic, was the fact that it's too warm for July, which means that July is going to be up to its usual tricks and is going to trick us into thinking it's summer and then freeze. By the way, the beanie situation is very sad, it's very tragic. There you go, Justin's thinking along the same lines I am as I fix my ridiculous beanie, my ever so flattering beanie. Justin, yes, Fluffy Pom Pom was cleaned. There's something running. Oh, hyena! Yay! No, where'd you go? I haven't seen a hyena in ages. Hello? Where have you been? And why are you looking so nervous? Where are the lions? Yay! Haven't seen our hyenas in what feels like forever. Hey, isn't this Gwen? Hello? No, it's not. Definitely not. Sorry, my mistake, I got overexcited. Look at this little guy. Half the right ear gone. Who on earth is this? And no tail. No tail and half an ear. Shame, buddy. You've been through the wars. Oh dear, I can't possibly stay with it, I'm afraid. This is the most impossible section. I will fight with Scott. Where'd it go? Oh, I can't follow it, I'm sorry. Oh dear. It has completely vanished into the thick of the drainage. It's been so long since we saw a spotted hyena. I feel positively joyful at that sighting. Absolutely no idea which hyena that was. Hey, there you go. You little mischief. I see you. It's, no, you won't be able to see it, I don't think. Change direction completely. Right, back towards it. It's not a hyena I'm familiar with, and it's not 100% comfortable with vehicles. You can see it in its body language, that sideways head bob that a lot of the predators do when they are trying to decide how they feel about the vehicle. Most of you will be aware by now, but for new viewers who haven't seen hyenas in a long time, the spotted hyena is my favorite predator. I find them absolutely 100% the most fascinating thing that we get out here, just because of their social structure. It is so intensely complex. Hyena came through here. There he is. Got him. Some awesome information coming through from Crystal. Oh my goodness. It's okay, little one. See, he's not comfortable with vehicles at all. And in fact, I'm not even entirely sure he's comfortable in this particular area. I wonder if he is one of the nomadic males, because apparently he's been seen on Cheetah Plains once. He's been seen stealing a kill from quarantine, and this is only the 4th time we've ever seen him. I'm almost guaranteed that it's a male. I'm not going to chase him, by the way. I'm going to come around the corner, just see if he's relaxed a bit. But I don't think it's just us. I think the fact that there's lions somewhere here, and that, I don't know, I don't necessarily think he's in a foreign clan's territory, but I'm not entirely sure where he comes from. I can tell you that he's been seriously beaten up, and it looks like he's been beaten up by the rest of the clan. He's not going to let us any closer. Hey, buddy. Missing tail, half an ear. The injuries that hyenas are capable of inflicting upon each other can be incredibly serious, but it just goes to show how resilient these animals actually are, which is something we talk about all the time. The fact that they have this ability to heal without antibiotic or any such treatment. Okay. Trotting down into the drainage system. I'm going to try and keep with him, but follow at a distance. Chris Rogue has said she's got no idea. Either we'll call him the mystery hyena from Elephant Plains, or we'll call him No Tail, the mystery hyena from Elephant Plains or Arathusa. Perhaps, yeah. He's very interesting. I've never seen that hyena before. At least I'm relatively certain I've personally never seen him. I'm sure he's been seen on the live safaris before. Man, no wonder he's so nervous then. If you're suggesting if he's from Elephant Plains or from Arathusa area, then he is definitely going to be a bit nervous in the heart of the Djuma clan territory. But I haven't seen, weirdly, I haven't seen a single hyena track while I've been out this morning apart from his, which is unusual. Makes me wonder where our clan really have wandered off to. Perhaps they're trying to raid a kill somewhere. Luckily we've got the really subtle brakes of Rusty to carry us forward. Oh, whoops. Whoopsie. I shouldn't actually be on the damn wall. Whoops, that was a total mistake. My mistake. Hello, guests. I'm sorry. No, they must be out on drive, surely. No, they must be. They can't possibly still be here. I don't see the hyena anywhere. He has scarpered. What an interesting way to start a morning. Thought perhaps he might be going for a drink. Oh well, we're here anyway, we might as well carry on. Oopsie. The guests must be out by now. Hope they weren't deciding to have a late morning start. Basically what I'm saying here is that we don't drive right in front of the lodge when there are guests in camp. So first thing in the morning or on our afternoon drive, we drive around rather than straight in front of them. In my sheer excitement in seeing that hyena, I kind of forgot about that. So, a new hyena to add to our list. One that I have not seen before. I always enjoy seeing new animals. Oh, isn't it nice to see a hyena once again? It does feel like it's been a really, really long time. That's true. We also haven't had a hyena visitor in camp for a long time. I wonder that our whole clan seems to have shifted. I don't even think Gwen's around anymore, to be completely honest with you. I haven't seen... We used to see her tracks every single day walking around outside, and I haven't seen them for a long time. Well, I say a long time, 3 days, which feels like a really long time. We haven't heard them. That Nyala carcass wasn't found. The one that we saw yesterday on the sunset safari, that was finished off by vultures rather than hyenas. It seems as though our clan have temporarily abandoned us, which I'm going to try not to take personally. I don't know why they've all gone running into Manuleti. What? Maybe, you know what? I suppose there's a potential that the lions, the amount of time that the Nkuhumas have been spending here might have something to do with that move. Because they have moved, most definitely. Our hyena has dashed away. He's gone into the drainage system, so into the river system that runs close to the dam. I don't want to follow him too much because he clearly isn't comfortable with vehicles. I don't want to pressure him. We did have a nice view of it, but he has managed to escape us. Alrighty, right, shall we try this again, Jardre? Hold on, let's wait for Steph to finish off on the Game Drive channel before I do his fantastic introduction once again. It's a pity you missed it the first time round. It loses its magic the second time round, but we'll keep it going. We'll keep it rolling. I'm just waiting for him to finish off his update on the Game Drive channel. Okay, right. Some say he was raised by a friendly family of battaliers. Others say that he can see in multiple spectrums of light, which is why he's so fantastic at finding scorpions. All we know is we call him Steph.
This team is a worrying team, I must be honest with you. I don't quite know what's going on with them this morning. Well, some news on those lion tracks. They definitely cross back into Djuma chasing some buffalo. I just spent the last sort of 10 or 15 minutes briskly walking with all my senses extended in the bush, and from the looks of things, some buffalo were chased from Buffelshoek into Djuma, chased across the road over here, and a male and a female lioness were chasing them into this block and across. Male lions' tracks become a bit indistinct. Male lions, when they run, their paws spread literally to wider than my hand, and with their big toes they leave very little scuff marks, so quite tough to actually see exactly where where his tracks go. The female's tracks join a game path and are trotting behind the buffalo. So I think if we can find the buffalo, we stand a pretty good chance of finding these lions. At least they're not sitting north of our boundary or off of our boundary that we know of. And now it's just a question of following up where we are. So that's what I've been doing for the last 10 minutes, is walking around in the bush, tracking these lions' escapades from last night. The buffalo dung that I found was very fresh. Still hadn't even begun to cool down yet, which means that those buffalo are still quite close. And of course, the lion tracks being right behind the buffalo is what I'm hoping for here. So they were running pretty much parallel to where we are right now, about 200 or 300 yards off to my right hand side. Buffalo are difficult things to catch. You've got to keep with them and almost keep one or turn one at bay. And that's what the lions would be trying to do, is cut one of the buffalo off from their peers, and in so doing isolate him and then get him to turn to bay. So get him to turn around to fight. And once a buffalo turns around to fight, if there's more than one lion, pretty much it's an end game. Unless something really lucky happens for the buffalo, like he can scrape the lions off of his side using branches, or he can injure one. or he gets enough of a head built up on him, enough of a lead built up on him that he can actually outsprint the lions. They can't over short distances. Lions are definitely faster than buffalo. But over longer distances, lions tire out quite quickly. So after 400 or 500 yards, lions generally give up the chase and let the buffalo carry on going. From the looks of things, that is what happened with these buffaloes. That initially they were running and then I lost the male's tracks. The female's tracks carried on after the buffalo. Now what I'm doing is I'm just sort of slowly scanning this area. This is an area that I've seen the Birmingham boys in before. They quite enjoy walking along this road and marking the grass that's found on either side. Okay, it was about here that I turned around in terms of distance away from the car. I was just starting to go down the back end of this crest off to our right hand side, still following that female's tracks. Oh, what a nice day. It's quite bright actually. As I was walking, I started to see these scuddy clouds. Have a look at this. I think Jamie's prediction is right. I don't know if you'll be able to see these clouds above us there. You will see they're moving quite quickly. Those ones are also moving quite quickly. And that, I don't know what that's going to bring. But definitely, clouds moving that fast and that low this time of the year definitely means something is happening in the atmosphere above us. Looking forward to seeing what. Why clouds on top of this hill? Well, quite easily, we're on quite a high ground. What's happening is the air masses are coming along and are actually low enough to hit this hill and be forced up. And as they're forced up over the hill, they cool and condense. And it creates this cap of clouds. And so we get this rushing of clouds. And it always looks like the clouds are moving, but there's always a cloud there. And that's because as the air mass goes up, here forms the cloud. As the air mass goes down, it drags the cloud with it, but the cloud then disappears back into moisture. And then the air coming up behind it clouds. So that's what's happening. And that's why we can see some clouds, although just because I said that, the clouds have disappeared again. Alright, I tell you. I don't quite know why I became a field guide. Every time I open up my mouth, something else happens. Sort of 17 years of study and I still can't really tell you what's going on. Oh, Justin, you just asked me a question that I don't know if I'm going to be able to answer for you today. You've just asked me how long ago were humans first colonized in Africa. Justin, to be honest with you, I can't really answer that question. I might just actually just throw it straight back at an audience and say, you know, why don't you help us figure out the answer to that question and see where or when the first predicted humans walked around in Africa. I know that there are some scientists and some anthropologists that say that Africa was sort of the cradle of mankind and that the first upright human beings were found here. I'm not too sure what they were called or what the terminology is used for that or how many millions of years ago it was. I just know that it is one of the first places that buffalo tracks cross behind us, and here is a lioness track going in that direction. Not bad. Gives us an idea to go and have a look around Buffelshoek Dam. And so, you know, I would say that you're going to find some references to the earliest human beings being found in Africa. How long ago that was, I'm not too sure, and exactly at what phase in the evolution of Homo sapien that was, I'm not too sure either. But you're welcome to send whatever answers you can find through to questions@WildEarthTV, and I'll please gladly share it with the rest of the viewers during today's game drive, or even this afternoon's or tomorrow's, whenever you feel like it. See if I've got something in my box of tricks here that can help us with that. You can have a look inside here with me. I have a mini book. Let's see if by some miracle I managed to pack in my Prehistory of Africa book. No stars, stargazing, no trees. I have a cookbook. Yeah, I have a cookbook just in case I get lost. Behavioral guide, snakes, tree names, tracks and signs. No. No, birds, bushveld. Let's see if maybe it's in my bushveld book. Mammals, no. Reptiles, no. Euphorbias, trees, grasses, glossary, no. Ecology. Maybe, just maybe, we're lucky and there's some anthropology in here. No. Sorry, I don't have my Prehistory of Africa book with me, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to leave it up to all of us to help one another to get the answers to that particular question. Right, let's carry on going. So we had one female's tracks going back that way, which is not uncommon. Buffaloes sometimes switch back on themselves, and it looks like the buffalo that I was following came across this crest and moved down into this drainage line off on our left-hand side. And the lioness circled around in front of him. The male lion's tracks come out on this road. Goody, heading in this direction. That's nice. I'm just actually going to call that in because that's quite important information for this network of guides that are helping us find these lion. Right, so let me call it in here. Our stations, the tracks of that male lion come out on Hyena Road, mobile south towards Central. Okay, so now what I've basically done is I've informed this network of field guides that all have their own guests and all have their own sort of safari agendas, but who may like to watch lions, and so they can update where they're looking at the moment. We're all sort of helping each other. Have a look here. Except I'm just going to switch the volume off again. I haven't yet developed the skill of being able to talk to you and listen to the radio at the same time in my ear. I don't know if you've noticed, it creates a bit of a short circuit in me every now and again. I must look all cross-eyed whenever that happens. It is disconcerting. Alright. Let's have a look and see where he comes out. They tend to walk, this is very thick bush here for a male lion to walk in. So I'm quite certain that his tracks are probably still on the road in front of us. They like to walk in these open patches and then they go over the grassy areas. Very rarely will you find a lion walking through the thickest bush. You do find it, of course, but it's rare. They're quite big, they're bulky, they step on thorns all the time. Alright, I think while we decipher at the next junction, we're going to have to decipher which way this male lion walked. It'll be a good time to go to Jamie, who's probably got an update on what she's been up to for you. See you just now.
Well, Well, in a somewhat devastating turn of affairs, the hunting lions decided to catch the buffalo, or managed to catch the buffalo, not decided to catch the buffalo. They have caught the buffalo on Buffelshoek, just north of our boundary. And where we've been looking the entire time, where Steph was off the vehicle tracking, they were indeed chasing buffalo. They have chased it completely off into Buffelshoek, where they are currently feeding upon it. It is 3 females and 1 male, so that doesn't preclude a chance for us to see lions. There's always the chance. There is another male somewhere here, or one of the females. I'm going to keep helping Steph try to follow up. I'm going to go and check Buffelshoek Dam, in the hope that they are going to pop out somewhere here. We might actually meet up with Steph in a moment, and since he was coming along down Hyena Road towards Central, I haven't seen any lion tracks here. I did see lion tracks going back north on Gowrie Cut Line. Remember when I pulled over and said these tracks are going the wrong way? And I think the male lion that we're tracking is turned around and gone to that buffalo kill. Oh dear! And it sounds as though it's a very, very recent kill as well. Oh well, such is life. For those of you who aren't understanding exactly what we mean by this, there are certain places where we can't go in the reserve. There's certain places where everybody can't go in this reserve. And one of those places is Buffelshoek. So the rest of the vehicles in this area can drive there. We unfortunately cannot, because, well, for lots of reasons, but we can't drive there, which means we can't go to that lion kill, which means we have to focus on finding our own lions. It's fine, we'll find our own lions as we go along. We'll see what else we can find. Oh well. Such is life. There's still Karuna to find, of course, and Herbert is on the tracks of a male leopard. So perhaps for now, I'm going to abandon the lion search and go and turn it into a leopard search for this morning. Go and see whether there's any sign of Karuna making her way back into Djuma. Oh, I was going to tell you about that. Last night, on our way home, there's tracks here. This is female. The lioness walking along this road. Hold on. Before we abandoned our lion search completely, I'm sure this must be the lioness going back to the cubs. These are fresh. Hold on. Let us change our mind for a moment. There you go, the tracks there. Hopefully she is on her way back to... Okay, there's a couple of tracks here. Just bear with me one moment. I just need to try and work this out, because I think I see a male's tracks as well. That looks like male tracks to me. Not going to stop and do another lion track segment, but it is very interesting. Let's keep going. Not delay too long, because they're heading straight east towards our boundary. My beanie is once again looking very special on the top of my head. Steph for Jamie. Wait for an opportunity to chat to Steph. Okay, they've cut straight east. They've gone off the road, but they usually do. Animals walking along this road usually do. They cut the corner. Steph is in Kunzo for 1 Mfazi and 1 Madoda, going east on Central Road at the Nyala Road junction. They've just gone off the road. I'm going to try to follow up as to where they've crossed out. That didn't make any sense. Sorry, Steph. Yeah, I got him. Thank you. Okay, still on Central going east. Okay. Where are these lions? This, I don't think, is the same pair. Oh, this might actually be the mating pair that we've been searching for the last 5 or so days. To the point that it's getting ridiculous. They've gone off the road again. What's your position, Steph? Okay, copy. I don't know if you want to take Nyala Road north, see if they're coming out towards Buffelshoek Dam. Just getting Steph's help here. Alright, we're doing a U-turn because the tracks have gone off the road and I just want to see whether they're going north or south before I send Steph in completely the wrong direction. Where, oh where have these lions gone? Aubrey, thanks for your message of support for the beanie. And welcome on our sunrise safari. Aubrey wants to know how you tell the difference between a male lion track and a female lion track. And the answer, Aubrey, is just size. Size is the giveaway. Sorry, Aubrey. I would like to show you a good example, but I've driven over the best spot. And I just want to see where these lions have gone. Because they've gone off the road. Here. Looks as though they're going north. It does look as though they're going north. Okay. Oh, yeah. Definitely going north. Okay, perfect. That's all I needed to do, was just double check that they were coming in this direction. So Aubrey, just quickly in terms of scale, I know that my hand is not perhaps the best thing. A male lion track is the size, just a little bit larger than the size of my hand. A lioness track will come sort of up to my first knuckles in terms of size. And they're also much narrower, and the toes are sort of almost in a more even proportion to the back pad than the male lions. The male lions have kind of small looking toes actually compared to the back pad of their foot, and their toes tend to be a bit more spread out, but generally it's just size. So even a young lion, male lion, will have feet that are much bigger than a female, because of course bear in mind that a male lion carries an extra, that's on top of the female's weight, carries an extra 200 pounds at least, or 220 pounds of weight. So he is much heavier than she is, and as a result, obviously, his feet are bigger. He's much bigger. And that for him is an advantage in terms of fighting. It's an advantage that he needs. But at the same time, it also means that it's one of the reasons why lionesses do a great deal of the hunting. It's not to say that male lions can't hunt, and they definitely do. But lionesses tend to be more agile, and they don't overheat as quickly. These lions are somewhere here. If it is the mating pair, that is interesting. So the last time we saw this mating pair of lions, the female had suckle marks. We always suspected that there were 3 sets of Nkuhuma cubs, and we had 2 of the mothers at a different sighting, and then we had the female mating with the male, or Brent had the female mating with the male. And we've been trying to work out if it is whether or not she's lost her cubs and come back into estrus, or false estrus, or if her hormones have confused him. So while we try to concentrate a little bit on figuring out where these lions have gone, because they have gone off the road completely, let's go back across to Steph and find out how his search is going.
Yes, we're busy running a tracking system here today, second to none, myself and Jamie. Working as a team, working with all the other rangers in the area here, trying to figure out exactly what the puzzle is and where they're going and what they're up to and everything else needed to do that. Not the easiest thing, I must be honest. And that's because, quite literally, we spread a bit thinly over this particular property. I know sometimes it doesn't feel like it. It seems like every second road you turn down, there's a car with another set of rangers. But when you're trying to do everything on your own or just with two people, it does take some time to decipher where those trails are going. You literally can just work one road and then another road. Then you've got to come back and figure out where they crossed into the block, where they missed the block. It's quite difficult to do. Hence, me saying and have believed for many years that a very robust tracking team made up of skilled trackers in an area like this is just invaluable. I was lucky enough at some point in my career to work with probably the world's most experienced tracking team, professional, commercial tracking team. And very rarely have I come across a team of such professional gentlemen who were so supremely skilled at that craft, could work together and quickly unravel a mystery in probably some of the most difficult tracking terrain that you can find in Africa. Very rocky hills, very little sand substrate, very little vegetation. And yet these magicians would pull out the most amazing sightings and just keep on performing all the time. So what we've done now is Jamie had the tracks of those male and female. She had them on Central Road, and basically we are running now parallel to Central Road but on the other side of a largish drainage line that splits between the two roads. Now what I have got on the road in front of us, lots of buffalo tracks moving up and down here, not so fresh. And buffalo are a favorite food of these Birmingham boys. I recall just a couple of months ago hearing a story from a neighboring property that said that they managed to kill, I think it was 7 or 9 buffalo in one night between 5 male lions. I mean, that's carnage, but it just goes to show that they're very good at hunting buffalo. So wherever they grew up, those boys, on the farm just on the I think it was on Birmingham, up north of Manyeleti, there must have been lots of buffalo there. I know the Timbavati River runs through there and it's well known for being buffalo infested. Lots of stories throughout the ages of the Timbavati River and its buffalo herd. I'm driving very slowly so that it gives me enough time to check every game path and to make sure I don't miss a sign going across the road. This is very close to where we saw that female elephant missing the tip of her trunk yesterday with a youngster, that 6-month-old baby. I wonder if she's still in the area. Nice to know how far they sort of move in one night here. Wow. And we have an answer on our question. I think it was James that sent it through to us about when people first came into Africa. Oh, Jill had asked this, and the answer is a hominid called Lucy at 3.2 million years ago. Lucy was apparently the closest sort of form to our current form, if you believe in evolution, and her name was Lucy, and she occurred in Africa about 3.2 million years ago, was one of the very first. So I hope that answers your question. It's a long time ago. So Edward has just added to that particular comment saying that Homo sapiens popped up about 2 million years ago in our current form, Homo sapiens, and then walked out of Africa about 100,000 years ago. So all pointing towards the fact that, you know, it hasn't been that long. I mean, considering the fact that a shark or a tortoise has been around for 200 million years, being around for 3.2 million years might sound like a lot, but it's not really. It's just a flash in the pan. There's a couple of analogies using a length of string a mile long, and humans are only the last millimeter in terms of the Earth's age, and dinosaurs are the last. I don't know what the whole thing is, but it's actually quite interesting to see that we've had such a massive effect on our planet in such a very, very short space of time. We've been able to colonize almost every single part of it. We are able to utilize almost everything on it, and it's just very interesting to see that, you know, in the Earth's history, I suppose when the dinosaurs were walking around, the Tyrannosaurus thought that what could be better than me? I suppose in another, let's say 100 million years, obviously with the gift of foresight, or hindsight I should say, we'd be able to say, wow, can you imagine what's going to be walking around then? It's not really, quite difficult. Right, now there were some lion tracks that came out on the road now, walking in the opposite direction. Now, I don't quite know if they're fresh or not. It's difficult to say. See, you can see that there's something walking around. I'm just looking for a place where I can pull over and have a proper look. No. Only the ever-present hyena. Must be honest, I think at least a hyena walks over or across or on every single road at Djuma every single day. They cover the most exceptional distances. I read a book once that referred to hyenas being able to cover 60 kilometers in a night. I think that's a little bit exaggerated. 60 kilometers is a long, long way for a single animal to walk that needs to find food, drink water, scent mark, interact with a clan. I think 60 kilometers even at a full sprint would be difficult to cover, but even if it's somewhere close to that, it's still an exceptional amount of kilometers for an animal to cover in one single day. They're definitely built for endurance, built for those long distance treks, searching for food. I don't think they'd need to walk that far in this particular area. I think with the amount of leopard that we have here, they definitely are not going to be shy for food, that's for sure. What is that? It's Jamie. I thought it was an elephant. I think the last thing on earth that Jamie could be compared to would be an elephant. The waif of a girl. At least I still know that we're working together. Alright, I think since we've seen Jamie, let's see what she's been up to while we've been talking. We're going to send you over to Jamie and catch up with you in a bit.
Now that is definitely the first time I've ever been mistaken for an elephant. Definitely a first. Hello Steph, wherever you are. I've been trying to get a moment to speak to Steph on the Game Drive channel, but I have to be honest with you, I've given up. I can't even get a word in edgeways at this point, and I'm actually going to turn it down a little bit because it's drilling through my brain. No, we've got the lioness. The lioness and the male lion tracks popped out around this road, and Steph will find them now, which is why I'm not too concerned about my inability to reach him on the Game Drive comms, because I know he's going to find them. He'll see the tracks as well. The difficulty is that somebody's driven along this road. In fact, somebody's driven around this whole area. Now these lions, I think they're somewhere here, unless they've decided to go along Buffels Hook Cut Line and go back towards where that kill is. That is entirely possible. It's just trying to puzzle out exactly what it is they're doing. So I'm going to do one more loop of Buffels Hook Dam, and then I'm going to start heading back further to the southern area of the reserve to see what we can find there. I'm hoping to encounter Karula, since yesterday she walked right up to the vehicle and gave us it was just Dave and myself having a wonderful time. as she walked up, looked at us, looked at Dave, looked at me, and then went in front of the car and used us to hunt a group of impala. She wasn't successful with them, but she was very clearly on a mission. I think we're going to go and look for her after a little bit, take ourselves out of this search for these mystery lions. But let's just go and do one more check around the dam and one more check around the den site. Aha, things have changed because apparently that kill is visible from Buffelshoek Cutline. Now, unfortunately, there's a queue of about 500 people waiting to see that particular sighting. But what I will do is I'll try and call myself in and see whether or not we can get a spot on the boundary. Because we've got the good zoom on this camera, we will go and we'll try and have a look and see if we can't get a bit of a view of whatever those lions are up to. So bear with me one moment. I'm just going to try and call myself in. I'm going to attempt to. Stations, can I get a standby to have a look at that Ngala Bumba from Buffelshoek Cutline? Let's see what's at Buffelshoek Dam while we're here. Nyala dashing away from us. Luckily we've got instant response on a Game Drive channel that is usually so vociferously noisy. Just some impala, glancing nervously at the water's edge from the opposite side. Can you hear the upset Franklin? That was because the Inyala gave them a fright. And the favour was reciprocal, because the Franklin actually scared the Inyala as well. Oh wow! Fish eagle! I haven't seen a fish eagle in ages! Well done, Genre! Incredible camera work. Where'd he go? Oh, there. Awesome. Very cool. Stunning. It's been such a long time. Well, no. Well, yes, actually. It's been a very long time since we've seen a... Sorry, that was my fault. Fish eagle on Djuma itself, just because there's not much really for, as you can imagine, for them to fish in the various dams. But this one has decided to come to Buffelshoek Dam. One of the most iconic of all of the African bird predator species, or raptor species. And definitely one of my favourites. Oh, no wonder the Franklins are so upset. They saw him coming before I did. Busy grooming and putting all its feathers in place. You can see how they're ruffling in the wind. The wind is picking up, slowly bringing with it that chance of the cold front on its way towards us. I feel as though the fish eagle, the African fish eagle, has one of the most impossible calls to imitate. I said that once on Drive, and Brian promptly proved me completely wrong by doing a perfect impression of one. I cannot do it. It's a high-pitched whistling cry that is beautiful to hear. Genre? Oh, hold on. Line audio. Huh. The lions are still here, everybody. Now, where on earth did that come from? That sounded... Let's just wait and see if they call again. Squirrel, you're a bit behind the times. It's alarm calling at the fish eagle. I think the elephants just found the lions. You can hear them trumpeting away. And one very, very angry squirrel. Don't you think a squirrel alarm call sounds like a witch's cackle? Ah, the cacophony of morning life at a dam. Come on, fish eagle, we need you to give us a call as well. Such a beautiful bird. Sorry guys, I'm just listening really, really intently to hear whether or not we can hear the lions roaring once again. The wind is gusting, so it might be distorting the sound slightly, but I would guess at somewhere around central, where we've just come from. I think that we were very, very close to finding them. And it's probably the female actually trying to relocate the rest of her pride. So we're in a good position because she'll probably walk in a direct line towards us to go towards that kill. I wonder if Steph heard it. Our beautiful fish eagle is giving himself a jolly good groom first thing in the morning. I really want to go and see if I can't find where these lions were roaring from. But while we head across in that direction, let's go across to Steph, who's got one of the most beautiful antelope.
Jamie's not wrong there. I also find the Nyala to be one of the most beautiful antelope that we have out here. And two of them here. Two beautiful bulls, and they are trying what it seems like to eat the fruits of the fallen greenthorn or this torchwood, picking up what they can off of the ground. They're generally browsers. They don't eat grass, even though at the moment it does look like they are. And these are two youngsters, and I know that they're young because the tips of their horns, the last inch or so of their horns, face one another. They're not parallel to one another, and they're not splayed apart from one another. The last inch or so of their horns. Hopefully this one will turn towards us. Oh, there we go, and it just dispels it. That one is a little bit parallel. He's a little bit older than this other one. This one that's hiding himself behind the tree here, he's a youngster. I'll show you now as soon as he gets himself out from behind the tree. There you go, you can just see those horn tips there, pointing towards one another. A young Nyala frantically picking up some leaves. I think what's happened is the wind is perhaps blowing some leaves off of the trees, and they're picking up the fallen leaves. There's this bank of cloud that has developed off to our south, a very ominous looking cloud. It feels the temperature has dropped a bit. It feels like there's a cold front on the way. But in any case, it's not going to change the outcome much of any of this. Alright. So, what I think we do, let's make our way, carry on making our way down this road. This is Central Road. I know Jamie has just heard these lions giving a contact call to one another. We've also just heard an elephant here somewhere. And so it's all happening. Just a matter of trying to find it. That's it. I'll show you this bank of clouds as soon as we can get into a more open place. can see it basically there in front of us over there. You'll see, there you go, that basically from that horizontal branch all the way down to the horizon is a thick band of cloud. Going to be nice to see exactly what is going on here, what transpires through the day. Tonight might be a very windy night. And with these cold fronts brings a very big fire danger. It's often here towards the end of the dry season that we get these fires developing, these very warm winds that come off the Drakensberg and then blow across here in answer to the cold fronts beckoning, and then just takes a tiny little spark. Could be anything. It could be pops of methane gas in termite mounds. I've heard someone say that once, to just being a little bit careless with anything from fireplaces to lighting, whatever. Well, the sound of that elephant came from here somewhere. Probably closer to the drainage line. This area in front of us is renowned for elephant and elephant activity. Lots of sort of Ellie swoosh marks on the floor here. Let's go down this road a little bit and go and see. There's a new viewer that's joined us with a most epic Twitter handle, Ghost of Jiminy Cricket. You've just joined us for the first time. Well, welcome aboard. And basically you've just asked, what is this whole safari life thing? What's going on here? Well, Ghost of Jiminy Cricket, you basically have just joined the world's largest safari vehicle. It's live, which means that what I'm looking at right now is what you're looking at literally just a couple of seconds later, and I'm going to prove that to you now by showing you a kudu, which I've just spotted as you were speaking to me. We are located in South Africa, right in the Kruger National Park, its largest game reserve. We are on the western side of that game reserve in a privately owned piece of it called the Sabi Sand Wildtuin. And there is a female kudu that has just come out from that thicket and is now about to camouflage itself with that tree. So welcome. That is your first animal. If you just joined us right now and stumbled onto the website now, we have many in our community that have been coming on Game Drive with us for many, many, many years. And I'm sure you'll see from all the social media activity that there's a very thriving community there that will, I'm sure, welcome you with open arms. And you'll quickly come to learn that we have in our area, we share what we drive around in with some animal characters and some animals that we see on a regular basis. Lion and leopard, most notably elephant, certain buffalo, certain kudu, certain impala, and basically we go out twice a day for 3-hour stints, twice a day, in the mornings here and in the afternoons, and we try and find these animals and share their lives with you. And we do this as unobtrusively as possible and with as much care and attention given to the animals here. This is their home. We live here, but this is their home. Now from kudu to the other, I wouldn't quite go so far as calling it a giant antelope, but definitely a large antelope. The other one that occurs out here is waterbuck, and Jamie has some for you.
Slowly walking off into Torchwood. It seems to be the pattern of the Jamie Steph game drive that we stop at waterbuck. We seem to find all the waterbuck and kudu in our traverse area between the two of us, and today is proving to be no different. We have lots and lots of waterbuck for you and lots of kudu. Oh, there's the lion again. Earpiece out. Oh, it's on Torchwood. Oh dear. And just by the way, obviously I'm trying to listen by making myself look like a ridiculous human being, but just by the way, the lines are not visible from our cut line. They're visible from a cut line, but that cut line is outside of our traverse area. So either way, we couldn't actually go to that kill even if we wanted to. It's a little bit further to the east. Of course we wanted to. Just hold on, because this lion he's very close to the cheetah cut line boundary, but I think our lion that's been calling the whole time is outside of our boundary. Oh dearie me, I think it's time to abandon the lion search and move on. Our waterbuck are also not really playing particularly well towards the camera. They've all hidden behind the raisin bushes and the various combretum trees with their fluffy fur and white rings highlighting their bottoms. The famous story, of course, is that they sat upon freshly painted toilet seats, and that's why the waterbuck has the ring around its bottom, and that the hyenas have been laughing at it ever since. It's one of those random little just so stories. Since our waterbuck aren't any closer to us and they have kind of disappeared, I do want to move on. I want to just go a little bit further south along Cheetah Cut Line, maybe, just maybe, on our eastern boundary of where we can drive. Our lion will pop out and give us a roar. So while we go searching for him, Steph has found the animal that we were listening to earlier, which is a squirrel.
I have found a squirrel indeed, sunning itself on a marula stem, a southern tree squirrel as we call them here, the only squirrels that we find here. And have a look at this guy stretching himself out in the sun. They do that. I have a squirrel at home actually. My wife rescued a squirrel that had been abandoned after falling out of a nest as a young squirrel, and I've had the pleasure and sometimes displeasure of hosting the squirrel in my house for the last 6 months or so. And I tell you, these little guys are some of the most characterful animals I've ever come across in my life. I have no doubt that the squirrel is sunning itself. My squirrel at home does exactly the same thing. Spends a vast portion of the day... Oh, now has disappeared. Of course. Anyway, my squirrel spends a vast portion of the day doing exactly that. Sunning itself on the bed and in the house and on the couch, and then interspersing its time of rest and sleeping on my couch by chewing everything that my house is. I think given enough time, luckily they don't live for very long, but I think given an infinite timeline, my squirrel would absolutely eat my entire house, including everything and everyone in it. But anyway, they are very, very characterful. I quite enjoy my squirrel. It went through a patch of wanting to eat me alive, I think while it was deciding what it liked in its diet. And I used to return here to camp after my weekends away with many bloody gaping wounds from the squirrel, although for some reason it's decided that it doesn't like meat anymore, and now it doesn't bite me as much. The Twitter handles are coming in fast and strong today. Welcome to Fuzzman Sparkles. Wow. You have to let us know how you came up with that name. Fuzzman, you asked me what species of squirrel that was. That was the southern tree squirrel. The southern tree squirrel. And that is the only squirrel that we find here. Not the only rodent we find here, but the only squirrel that we find here. Relatively abundant. They live in these small family groups made up of a mom and dad and then successive generations of youngsters. The most of which I've seen is probably around about 5 to 6. And they live in a small little territory and basically will forage anything that they can find. They eat almost anything. Insects, they love termites, they love fruit, they love vegetables, they love seeds. These lions, I tell you, I don't quite know what to make of them. They're driving me insane. I found the tracks of those lions that Jamie can hear. Let's see where they go. For those of you who are just joining us, we've been basically running around in circles trying to find lions. That have been keeping us awake literally non-stop since about 12 o'clock last night. They've been roaring their heads off and we've managed to track them literally footprint for footprint from our houses where we stay to right here where I am now. This is the last place that I found some footprints right there. For the life of me, I can't imagine what these lions are busy doing. They have the ability to walk around in circles, especially when they're hunting or they're trying to find one another, or for some reason or another they have just decided to run around in circles. On a windy day like today, lions make the most of the wind by basically hunting into the wind as much as what they can. And that is, I think, what's been happening here. Now the reason why I switched off is because Jamie has been hearing contact calls from a female lioness coming from this particular area. This is the last place that she had tracks of those lions. I think what I'm going to do is just sit here for a few minutes to see if we can hear anything. The sound of the cars, although these cars are incredibly quiet, the sound of these cars does hamper our ability to hear in the bush most of the time. And so by switching the car off, I'm able to listen to alarm calls, these contact calls, hopefully sound from somewhere close by. And so that's what we're going to do. Just switch off and listen just for a bit. Have a look at the bush around us. Beautiful little thicket of combretums with an enormous termite mound off to our left hand side. There's this big termite mound, much bigger than my car. And while I think we sit and listen, I think we're going to send you over to Jamie, who's probably got an update on what she's been busy with.
And a very big welcome to the kids at the Ekurhuleni Centre in the... just checking for footprints. It's wonderful to have you here with us on a safari vehicle. So I want to make sure that you imagine that you're on the back of the car looking at all of these amazing animals that live very, very close to where you do. What animal would you like to see today? Let's see if we can't figure out exactly what you want to see, and maybe we can find some lions, Mangala, or perhaps we find some in Love. Let's go look and see whatever it is we can find. At the moment though, all of the animals are hiding away, trying to keep themselves hidden behind bushes and trees, waiting for it to get a bit warmer to come out into the sun. You've got to look carefully See if you can find the signs of the animals walking through this area. Steffi's listening for the lion roaring. We're looking for a leopard today. We're going to go see if we can't find a leopard that I saw last night walking along the road looking for something to eat.